command of the masses.
Mayegun don come,
Mayegun diary political.
Mayegun don come,
This one not a of in mind.
Mayegun don come,
Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh.
Mayegun don come,
My people make you shout.
Mayegun don come,
Mayegun the command of the masses.
Mayegun don come,
Mayegun diary political.
Mayegun don come,
This man not the off in mind.
Mayegun don come,
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun ti dé ọ̀rẹ́ ara lórí Facebook lórí.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun live.
Oníbẹ̀ o. Ó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré pàápàá níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary political.
Thank you so much for joining me. And as you are joining, remember, read the caption of the broadcast. And beyond that, read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Then share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them, Mayegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Tinubu has told the delegation of African heads of state that were in Nigeria yesterday, where they had counterterrorism summits. So tonight, I've got loads of nice stuff that we will actually be at, important stuff, right? I've got the boring part. So we are going to start from the boring part. What Kalu told the world, those behind the insecurity in Nigeria. That's not nothing new. Share this.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá ayé ẹ̀sùn láti aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
According to Ribadu, fewer Nigerians have been killed under Tinubu compared to under Bukwari. Also, there is a TV presenter who happened to be like an anchor of that their charade meeting or summit, who actually told these African heads of state and their delegations that since Tinubu became your president, there has never been a single terror attack or terrorist attack in Nigeria.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Ayé ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Also, this guy has been arrested. Adisirika has now been confirmed arrested by the EFCC. By the way, thank you so much for joining me. Just all you have to do, very simple. Hear the broadcast, like the broadcast, get yourself in tune with what we are going to be discussing tonight, and leave the rest for me. I will make it worth it. Hear this. Now we start. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us from or watching from. It is Mayegun live. According to Tinubu, the reason why insecurity in Nigeria seems to have become an impossible problem to solve. He was meeting some African delegates and some African heads of states that were in Nigeria to discuss what they can do against the spread and increasing acts of terror on the continent, especially West Africa. So in their conversation, Tinubu, being their host, was the one to address the entire summit. So we are going to start with that. Then we're going to get to more interesting stuff tonight. So let's start with that. This is Kolu and what he told the world about the insecurity in Nigeria. Listen.
Of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Umar Toure, Under Secretary General of the United Nations, Office of the Counterterrorism, Admin Volcano, Chair of the Nigerian Governors Forum, present, Minister of and Government Representative here present. The host security efforts of Nigeria, the National Security Advisor, Malam Ribadu. Well done for your coordination. Members of the Diplomatic Corps and head of international organizations, esteemed delegates, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with deep respect and appreciation for your commitment to ending this threat to the peace and well-being of our continent and its people, I thank you for honoring our invitation to participate in this high-level counterterrorism meeting. In joining us today, you have demonstrated your understanding of the urgency of the current situation and the priority it must be given above all matters. Again, I thank you for your valuable presence and your contributions to fighting the scourge of terrorism. Terrorism snaps at the very fabric of the tranquil, prosperous, and just society we seek to build for ourselves and our children. Terror cannot coexist in the same space as democracy and good governance. Just as darkness and light cannot endure in the same room at the same time. This violent threat seeks to frighten the farmer from his fields, children from their schools, women from the marketplace, and families from their very homes. It wants the city dwellers to cower and businesses to close. It craves despotism and suppression, not democracy and enlightened society. Its goal is to cause such an havoc that we doubt our democratic principles.
So I'm going to help you, all right? So that we don't have to listen to everything, okay? So that was his opening speech. Then he went on and on and on. Then apart from like pointing out the havoc that terrorism has wreaked or have wreaked in Nigeria. Then he got to this part.
Terrorism is becoming a greater threat as it perfects ways to continuously finance itself, re-equip, resupply itself for its sinister mission. Not only does it kidnap people, it kidnaps precious resources, billions of dollars that legitimate governments should be using to sculpt better society by providing education, healthcare, and food for its people, now go to pay for weapons and mayhem. Look at illegal mining that plagues so many of our nations today. Those who think illegal mining has no connection with the financing of terrorism are surely mistaken. The international community has both the moral and legal obligation to help in this cause because it is outside money, not African money, that fuels the illegal operations. We shall be knocking on this door of the international community to answer the call for justice, peace, and fair play. Key to our collective efforts against terrorism is the need for a fully operational regional counter-terrorism center. This center will serve as a hub for intelligence sharing, operational coordination, and capacity building throughout our region. Additionally, we must strengthen existing counter-terrorism structures, such as the Regional Intelligence Fusion Unit, RIFU, Abuja, the African Center for Study and Research on Terrorism, and in Algiers, and the Committee of Intelligence and Security Services of Africa in Addis Ababa. All of these bodies must work hard together to continue constantly to change a problem. A regional standby force that includes tackling terrorism as part of its mandate must not be abandoned. I am mindful of the funding, legal and logistical complexities that face the proper establishment of such a force. However,
again, let me save you the agony of having to listen to all of that, okay? So you heard him. It is not African money. It is not Nigeria money that is funding terrorism. They wrote that nonsense for him and he read it out. So if Nigeria at this point is, or the president of Nigeria is saying that from their intelligence gathering, the outside money is the one funding the terrorism, whereby in that same Nigeria, where terrorism has become an industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, the security agents in Nigeria have failed not only to find the sponsor of terrorism, but to cut their funding, mostly coming from illegal mining, like Kolu said. But not only that, the act of terrorism unleashed on Nigerians, which also includes kidnapping for ransom. These are localized industry. Maybe now the external interest here is the exchange of the resources with guns, and the terrorists they have access, they have money, and they also have natural resources of the areas where the people have been either killed or sent to the IDP camps, abandoned communities, abandoned areas, ungoverned areas. The Fulani terrorists in particular, who have taken more lands and more communities through violence, it has been confirmed that most of the areas where this terrorism is so strong, or where an attempt is being made to overrun as we speak, they are mainly because of alleged, suspected natural resources under those lands. So here, the terrorists in Nigeria have access to billions, hundreds of billions of naira, Nigerian naira, that they collect for ransom. At the same time, they have access to, God knows, unlimited natural resources of the areas they have also covered. So how are they paying for their guns? There you have your answer. But Kolu said they were going to knock at the door of these foreign countries. It is just a faboo. It is a pure goose chase. Just word salad. No substance. No nothing. So make it sound kind of like it's making any sense. Or I don't even think it made any sense. Number one, you haven't listed the supposed countries or foreign money. I mean, you have to say something. We have 2 countries in Europe. We have 3 countries in Asia. Now, that is how close enough you can let people, including those countries, to know the activities of their citizens, or maybe the activities of their representatives in Nigeria. It's all just words and words. I want you to listen to this part, okay?
They are most urgent national security threat. Our counterterrorism capabilities have been enhanced through enactment of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, establishing the National Counterterrorism Center, NCTC. We have and will continue to take bold steps in safeguarding our nation and the wider region. Dedicated to coordinating and implementing counterterrorism strategies, the NCTC significantly enhances our capacity to detect, prevent, and respond to terrorist threats. The center has become a platform fostering greater collaboration amongst stakeholders and promoting synergy in our approach to fighting terrorism. Similarly, our security forces continue to demonstrate great courage, dedication, and bravery in fighting against terrorism. I salute them. Often at great personal risk, I am grateful to the selfless work and sacrifice of these patriotic men and women, they are the best of the best. I must also mention the ongoing need to halt the proliferation of small arms and light weapons on this continent. No one state can solve this problem for itself. It requires continuous and concerted action by all of us. We need to reposition our regional organizations and build the capacity of our national institutions to effectively address this element of terrorism and violent extremism. Nigeria is committed to working with our regional partners to strengthen our arms control measures, enhance border security, and disrupt the illicit trafficking network that fuel terrorism and organized crime. In closing, let me say that we must make the meeting historic and productive. We must show our respective populations that we, as leaders, we must do more than speak nice words. We must live here with real results. As leaders, let us show our people that their safety and welfare is paramount. May this conference be succinct and to the point. Let us keep.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
Again, I told you, let us start with the boring parts so that I won't be somebody who just won't kill your joy when you get into the more interesting part of the conversation. Somebody said they despised these guys, the way they lie with boldness, no remorse, no blinking. Like it turns them from inside to be like, now you heard him. You have the best of the best military that respond to terrorist attack so fast. When did the Nigerian military respond to any terrorist attack? When? But you know, the summit that was started on lies. Somebody said, those who are doing national security will not get electricity. Is that not the first lie they are telling you? You have no electricity. 2024, you have no electricity. And you are talking about national security. And some guys are, you know, in their usual big man style. They are telling you, we are doing a great job. We are working on it. So they started the summit with a lie from a lady, disappointingly. Anyway, maybe not so disappointing.
That since the arrival of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there has not been any terrorist attack in Nigeria. There have been. Indeed, it is so compared to several other years when the attacks were quite heavy. At the moment, what we have is that the president is deploying the military apparatchik of Nigeria and all intelligence and security heads to ensure that the fight in the forest against insurgents, terrorists, and those who will not give Nigeria peace is intense, and therefore there is degradation of the various terrorist cells around Nigeria ongoing. That is an ongoing exercise, but as far as the terrorist attack is
nuisance lele.
A woman, oh, she stood there and Ribadu like a gamma lizard. It's ongoing. We are doing everything to dislodge all the terrorists. Yes, there has never been any terrorist attack under Tinubu. Abba. There has been, you see, under Bokuwari, there were reported, confirmed 21 cases of mass kidnapping, especially of school children. That was under Bokuwari. Under Tinubu, in the last 10, 11 months alone, there has been over 7 reported kidnappings and mass kidnappings.